Hi everyone, Tinkering Tech here. Today we'll be taking a look at the Apeman C880 dual dash camera. Seemed like a very interesting camera, so I wanted to get it and unbox it, set it up and take a look at it to see how good it is. So let's take a look at it. Alright, there's a little leaflet here. Guess a thank you card. You got the user manual. Let's see what else. So this obviously has to be the camera. So here you have one. This inside. This is the inside camera, and this right here is the outward-facing camera. Alright, and also these are the cables. And the mount. So here you have a 12-volt car charger that you can plug into a 12-volt in the vehicle in order to provide power to the device. It also has a little USB connector as well, so you can power some other device as well from this, so it's not hogging up the 12-volt supply or the outlet in your vehicle. Then it also has a mount. It's a suction cup mount for your windshield, and it also has a Type-C USB. So let's take a quick look at the camera itself, just to do a little walk around the outside to see what's there. First, we'll take a look at the port. So here you have a Type-C USB port, and this is a little SD card slot to record the video. And there's a little pinhole here for reset. And then over here you have a good size LCD monitor to be able to see what's being recorded. This is the inward facing camera, supposed to be a 1080p camera. And then this is the outward facing camera that's looking out of the vehicle, and this is supposed to be a 2K camera. On the rim of the camera it says Super Night Vision, so obviously it has night vision built in. It's a Sony CMOS sensor, and it also has a wide angle lens according to what it says here. I think this is you can connect an external GPS antenna. That's interesting. On this side you have a few buttons. There's a power button, a menu button, a microphone button, and this is supposed to be an OK button to select I guess functions on the camera. Something I want to emphasize very strongly is to make sure that you get a good SD card for this camera. The manufacturer recommends a class 10 SD card, at least I believe it's 32 gigabytes. Now I've tried other SD cards, older ones that I had laying around that really did not, have a lot of capacity, much slower, and I had a hard time getting the camera to work correctly. Like I would record stuff and try to play it back, and there would be no images at all. So you have to use a high-speed SD card, class 10 SD card with this camera. So again, don't waste time getting any other, using another SD card or any type of SD card except for the class 10. I would put a link in the description below on the SD card that I have here. I have a class 10 200 gigabyte SD card by SanDisk, and this works very well. 200 gigs is a pretty good size. I've been testing and filming all day, and I've barely scratched the surface on the space on this SD card. So again, I just thought 200 would be good, so that's what I got. To install the SD card is pretty simple. Just put it in the slot on the side here, and just press it in, and it clicks into place. One thing I wish the manufacturers had done was to have the inside camera on a separate gimbal so that it can swivel, by itself. That would be pretty cool if they had that feature, because then it will allow you, once it's installed in the car, to point the inside camera slightly at an angle to, in whichever direction you want it to, without messing with the angle of the outward facing camera. So yeah, I wish they would have done that, but again, it's not part of this camera, but it'd be nice if they had that feature where this thing can move independently of the main camera. The camera comes with a pretty good and well-written instruction manual. It gives good information on everything that you need to know about the camera, so please take a look. The camera comes with a cigarette lighter 12-volt charger for the camera. It's a pretty good size cable. It's about 10 feet long, so it gives ample length for you to run the cable from the cigarette lighter and maybe hide it behind the dash all the way up to the camera on top of the windshield or on the windshield. Kind of like what's illustrated here on the instruction manual, where you can run it along the side of the I guess the side of the car all the way to the top here, where you can connect to the camera. So anyway, it's a good size cable. It also has a USB port on it, so it doesn't hog up the 12-volt outlet for itself. You can actually charge something else with this, which is pretty handy. On the other side, you got a USB Type-C connector, and this is a right angle connector. So this is pretty good as well, because it makes for a very neat connection where the cable is not sticking out. It blends nicely into the back of the to the top of the hood, wherever you're running the wire from. In order to mount the camera, the camera comes with a suction mount for the windshield, and for this it's pretty simple to install. All you got to do is there's a slot on one side of the suction mount that just goes in this slot on the top side of the camera. So you just insert it and slide it, and it'll lock into place. And that's how you install the suction mount. Pretty simple to do. The camera also comes with a pry tool, and the purpose for this is once you mount the camera on the windshield and you want to take it off, sometimes it's pretty difficult with the suction on this. So what this allows you to do is actually pry it out of off the windshield if you need to remove it. Just makes it a lot easier. So pretty handy that they supplied one of these things as well. So keep in mind that this camera will turn on as soon as the vehicle ignition is turned on. So here I'm simulating that by connecting a USB cable that's connected to my a wall adapter. So as soon as I hit connect the power, you will see the camera will power on, and it'll immediately start recording. So again, this is simulating what happens when you power on a vehicle or turn the car on. So again, you don't need to do anything, it just starts recording automatically. As soon as the car is turned off, so that I'm going to simulate by taking the power out, it goes into park mode, where it powers down just in a second. And then now it's in park mode, where the G sensor is what would probably wake this up, or would wake this up. That means that if I shake it, or if the car gets bumped by somebody, then it'll wake up the camera. So let's try to simulate that. Yeah, there you go. So as soon as I knocked on it, it woke up and it started recording. If I just hit that, you will see it's recording. So again, this is in park mode, where it'll wake up based on the any vibration that's detected, and it'll start recording. Now it takes quite a bit of force to wake this thing up from the sensor. So I don't know how good that is in a real life situation, if your car gets hit by somebody, if it's really gonna wake up with that type of force. But anyway, something to keep in mind. Let's now take a look at the menu for the camera. So here the first one is the resolution, and again you can change each of the icons by hitting the mic button, and that will scroll between each of the icons, and it kind of loops all the way around. when you keep hitting it. You can actually go back on the menu by hitting the power button. So you can use a mic button to scroll this way, and you can use a power button to scroll backwards if you miss something. Here you have the resolution. So to select that, you would hit the orange button. And here you can choose which resolution you want to shoot video at. If you want to manipulate the resolution, you can manually. The next one here is the screen display. So let's take a look at that one. Here, this shows how you want the display to be essentially showing the images. So what I have by default is picture in picture. You can have just the front camera only, or inside camera only, or split screen showing for the display. So let's do the front camera only and we'll see what happens. So let's scroll down by hitting the microphone button and then hit the orange button to select, and then go back by hitting the menu button, and that clears it. And here now you only have just the front camera showing on the screen. So you can change what view you want, because this would be what's in the vehicle and this would be what you'll be looking at all the time on the screen. So that's a screen display. The next one is loop recording. Let's select that. And for this one, you can, if I can get it focused, you can select how long you want the loop recording to be. You can turn off loop recording altogether, 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5 minutes. It's 3 minutes by default. The next one that you see here is the G sensor. For that one, I believe this sets the sensitivity of the G sensor. You can turn off the G sensor altogether, low, medium, or high. And again, this is a feature where the camera detects a sudden deceleration or a collision, and it actually records the last clip that it saw and stores it away where it does not overwrite it in the loop recording mode, so that it doesn't get lost. I think that's a pretty cool feature to have. The next one is format SD card. We're not going to do that, but that you can select to essentially wipe the SD card and start again. WDR is wide dynamic range, and this is to manipulate the quality of the image. As a time lapse here. You can set it up to 1, 2, or 3 seconds for time lapse recording. So for the IR light, let's select that. You can set that to auto. What that means is if the camera senses it's dark outside or it's dark, it'll turn on the IR lights automatically, or you can manually turn it on or off if you want to. GPS switch, we're not going to cover here, but essentially you can connect a GPS antenna to this so that you can get better location information for the camera. Let's take a look at the speed unit, and in America they use miles per hour, but if you're in a location that uses kilometers per hour, you can switch it to that if you want to. So I'll leave it at miles per hour. This is the parking monitor, on or off, and then the date time. Here, obviously you need to set the time, so I'll just leave it for now, but you can actually scroll and change the time as you need. And then the language. Let's take a look at this one. So there are a bunch of different languages supported, as you can see here. So we'll leave it at English for now. And the screensaver, let's take a look at that one. So that essentially is a timer to turn off the screen if there's no, if it's powered on, it shuts off the screen. You can turn it off 30 seconds or a minute, depending on what you want for the screen. Auto power off. This one shuts off the camera after a certain period of time of inactivity. So you can set that to 1, 2, or 3 minutes, or turn it off. I'll leave it in the off position where I don't want auto power off. Key sound, these beeps that the camera is making when you're selecting different things, you can actually shut that off as well if you want to. I'll leave it on for now. Record audio. Let's take a look at that. You can turn it on or off if you want to record audio or not. The boot sound, yeah, this one I probably will disable because it is kind of annoying. And just hit off and hit the select button, and that'll turn off the boot sound. The boot sound is the The boot sound is that little chime it plays when it powers on. So if that's annoying to you, you can actually manually turn it off. Okay, license plate switch. I believe this allows you to, there's another setting where you can actually set your license plate number, so that your license plate information gets on the image itself of the recording if you wanted to. And here, and this is the license plate. You can manually enter your license plate information, so it's actually on the video if you want it to be there. Video encode, you can use H.264 or 265, whatever your preference is. By default, it's on H.265. And frequency for the camera, you can set it at 50 Hz or 60 Hz. I'll leave it at 60 Hz. That's a default. You probably don't need to mess with that. And then you can also revert to factory settings if you want to. You know, if you mess up the camera with the settings or whatever, you can revert to factory settings by going here to default. And then this is a version of the camera along with the software version on it. So that covers all the different menu items for the camera. So mounting the camera onto the windshield is pretty easy. All you got to do is push the suction cup against the windshield and turn the little knob, and that'll lock it into place. And then there's a little adjust screw to adjust the pivot of the camera once it's mounted as well. Here you can see the camera turn on once the car ignition is turned on. Provide some footage from the actual camera itself when I'm driving. Here I'm on a local street, and next you will see me enter the highway and drive on the highway as well during the daytime. Here I'm pulling into my local Home Depot. You will also see the number plate overlay on the bottom left corner of the screen. That's just a mock number plate number, but I just wanted to show that so that you will see what it looks like when you enable that setting on the camera. Ignore the time, that's incorrect. I did not set it for these videos. Here, this is the inward facing camera during the day while I'm driving, so it'll give you an idea on what the cabin looks like from this camera. And here's some nighttime footage looking from the front camera on the highway. Here's some inside cabin footage as well, but and with the infrared light turned on so that so it'll have night vision. And here I'm simulating what it would look like if somebody came to the passenger side window. For example, if it's a traffic stop and you wanted to quickly pivot the camera to the window, this is what it'll look like. Not the best quality, but it's decent. It's better than nothing, and obviously you can record the audio as well during any discussion. So that completes a review of the Apeman C880 dash camera. I think overall it is a good camera. I would recommend it actually. I probably will start using this in my own vehicle. It's pretty well built. It doesn't feel cheap or very plasticky. The user experience is pretty good. The instructions are very good. So I think it's a good safety device to have in your vehicle. Just to record what's going on while you're driving. Yeah, other than the having a gimbal maybe for this camera so that it can swivel by itself, that'd be great to have. But then that I think it's a pretty good quality camera, decent for the price that you pay for this. So anyway, check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below if you wanted to get one of these. So that completes the review of the Apeman C880 dash camera. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope it brought you some value. I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button for this video. It will help me out a whole lot. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and please don't forget to ring the notification bell. Again, thank you again. Please leave comments as well. I really would appreciate that. Good or bad, I'm always welcome to feedback on how I can improve my videos so that I can bring you valuable content. So once again, thank you very much for watching this video. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.